really don't know that much about the Southside community. I know there's different neighborhoods in the Southside, but other than that, I don't really know much.
In all actuality, it's a great area. It probably would needs a little urban renewal or whatever.
But the community center is great, but people think it's mostly for blacks. But I think it's for people.
It's a good community center, but surrounding Southside is a little different.
Southside community, no, never. I've been living here for years and I never hear what is that.
The corridor of Southside is basically Corner Street, Plain Street, and Clinton Street, and of course Cleveland. That immediate, what I call ground zero of Southside.
In many ways, it's no different than any other community. It's home, and it's a support network of neighbors and friends, of businesses and churches, and again, no different than other places.
I grew up in New York City in a neighborhood right on the border of Harlem. So when we were looking for a place to live, this felt like home. It was right downtown, you know, so walking distance to just about anything.
We wanted to stay local, we wanted to stay centrally located to downtown. I've had good experiences. We've got good schools here. We've got teachers that care, so if you're caring about your kids, there's lots of activities. My property values are going up. I'm really happy with that. They're stable. We got a lot of taxes, so that's one drawback. But as far as the community is what you make of it.
I'm responsible for my yard and I'm responsible for my home, and I think those of us, it doesn't matter whether you're white or black, there's a sense of pride of ownership of something. That's basically kind of reaching to that American dream. Ultimately, you have a home. Flowers do grow on Cleveland Ave, and that's a positive sign. But when are you going to stop, enjoy, or smell the roses?
One historical element of the community there that I would point to is the St. James AME Zion Church, which is one of the first AME Zion churches in the country. It's recognized as the first church in Ithaca, and the basement was used historically as part of the Underground Railroad.
The Underground Railroad was an ingenious mechanism. Slaves were ushered up the eastern coast by waterway and any other way they could get here. So they would stop here, and there's a room in the basement that at that time had no window. They could all cram in there and keep warm and eat and take a nap before going on to Auburn. And from Auburn, they made their way to Buffalo, and from Buffalo into Canada.
The church is here. The center is here. So basically, the Southside Community Center became the hub for all the community.
Southside's a historic and unique center created by a group of women in the Southside community, and they felt it was important that there be structured programs, education, and opportunity for the community to gather around topics that would affect and impact the African American community within Southside and then the greater Ithaca area.
I think initially that was, what the center was for, just to give create a safe space, and also they wanted to, there were doctors and dentists and professionals in town that had practices but still wanted to be able to give these services, to offer these services to the community. The women who started the center they were an advocacy group first. Before they created the center, they were already an established group of women in the community who were advocating for black people in our communities.
And then through public works funds, the center was built and completed in 1937, and then was actually dedicated by Eleanor Roosevelt.
So this became a place, and it has always been a place of advocacy for black people in this community.
So the neighborhood has gone through a bunch of changes. This is a neighborhood where gentrification has begun. A bunch of longtime residents died off, and younger white families came in and bought their properties. So the nature of the neighborhood is shifting.
Now we have organizations such as Ithaca Neighborhood Housing, and owning a lot of the property in the area, making it more kind of economically possible for others to to own a home in the area. On the other hand, also, the disappearance of the next generation not coming back to claim their past, because there's nothing in here for them to claim their past. You see that gap of not coming back, claiming your past, permitted for others to come in, claim those homes.
Sometimes people who grow up in middle-class circumstances walk through a neighborhood like Southside and see a few houses that they might feel are run down, and they characterize the whole neighborhood that way. I don't think you understand the neighborhood if all you do is see a couple of homes and then write about the whole neighborhood on the basis of that. And because it's a historically and continues to be a predominantly African-American neighborhood, you know, a lot of those stereotypes are easy for people to accept without digging more deeply, and they're racist and they're harmful.
Probably at the base of it is just simply racism and prejudice, and not knowing about other individuals that are unlike ourselves. The South Side also has some lower income housing, which you might not see in other sections of the community, and so that drives people's perceptions of the type of people that live there.
Once I understood the environment here, the young people that we were working with, there's not really any hoodlums, what they would term as, there's not a whole lot of gangbangers. There's not, like they're really just young people.
The Cleveland Avenue neighborhood for a long time was seen as a rough place, and that people didn't really care about where they lived or how they lived. And I think some of those impressions linger on. Really, this is the beginning of affordable housing for families and people who want to live and work downtown and walk to work and bike to work.
For many years, Southside had a bad rap around here. When the police called in Southside area, one policeman never showed up, and maybe 3, 4, 5 of them showed up, because again, the assumption that's a very dangerous place to be at night, a very dangerous place to walk. Very untrue in many ways. I never had any issues with anyone in my life, and I've been threatened by anyone.
As of lately, with all the press the South Side's been getting with the shootings and things like that, I think they believe that the South Side area is a dangerous area, which is not entirely true. The ones who may be fearful or think that things go on around here actually never come over here, or, and don't know what really South Side is comprised of. So you're going to get that perception.
The center is here, one, to provide the South Side, and it's kind of grown from just providing it to the South Side to providing it to the South Side and the greater Ithaca community in general, but to be a resource for South Side residences in terms of education assistance, in terms of fiscal knowledge assistance, in terms of nutrition assistance, in terms of cultural activities, particularly African American cultural activities, in terms of after-school education and tutoring to the young people in the community. We have a food pantry. We try to provide some food assistance. We have a pet clinic. We have a hot food program. So we have a whole bunch of things, but just to support the community in general and help it, out of the current condition that it's in.
That goes way back into that full history of full kind of uplift and support for and celebration of and providing resources for the whole community.
I'm a DJ around the area, so I do beginners DJing class. I've started a video recording class to teaching kids about video editing, and that actually has been in conjunction with the Finger Lakes Residential Center. So I've been working with the youth from the residential center and teaching them stuff about video recording and editing and things like that. My main program that actually just I think like 2 weeks ago just won an award for Best Online Radio Show is our 305 Live radio show that we do.
Well, we actually provide meals for the kids and the people in the community every day after school, or if we have any type of event, I'm actually the person that's scheduled to provide their meal and supervise the person that cooking the meal. Also, I actually run food pantry in charge of ordering food and dishing out food to the community.
We have adult things that happen here, and we have youth programming as well. And then we have folks who come in and who have ideas for programming. And so part of what I do is help create collaborations so we can make programming that's effective for the whole community.
Fundamentally, we're a program of the Southside Community Center. RIBS is an acronym that stands for Recycle Ithaca's Bicycles. Essentially what we are a community bike shop. We take in donations from the community, we refurbish them, and we distribute them back out to the community through a variety of different programs. Those programs can include several things, anywhere from introductory bike classes that we teach people in terms of how to maintain and sustain their own bicycles. If you enroll in a class, then you have the opportunity to choose a bike, repair that bike during the classes, and once it's done and complete, and you can walk away with the bike free of charge.
Because this is a community center, and we serve the community has more than just programming needs. So pretty much whatever need comes up, I try to help as much as I can. And if it's something that I can't do or something I don't have the time for or something that's not my specialty, then I'll find the resources and direct them to someone else that I know.
I've always said that, working in human services and everything like that, it's not something that you're going to get rich and famous off of, but it's a personally rewarding experience. And that's definitely one of the things that kind of motivates me on a day-to-day basis, is the fact that you know that you're coming in and you're going to be able to help at least one person throughout the course of the day.
Like a kid could come here and feel comfortable and be here on a regular basis. It's just like he or she being home. So, I mean, this is a place where you could actually come and relax and enjoy the activities.
I would like to see Southside more widely recognized by the community for its value. They're always very stressed and stretched when it comes to financial resources. And ultimately, that's what it takes to provide programs.
The city has been great in terms of resources, and they've been very consistent. There are other things that they can do to help. I mean, if we had more resources in terms of finances, we can hire more staff. With more staff goes more programming. With more programming goes, a wider swath of kids that you will probably get to interact with.
Reality is we all here for the same purpose we was here for 10 years ago. It's to protect and serve our community.